Несмотря на окружение значительного количества украинских войск.
Despite the encirclement of large numbers of Ukrainian forces, huge losses, violent mobilization, threats to civilians, the head of the Kiev regime forbids acknowledging the loss of cities, orders positions to be held down to the last man, and bans retreat. This policy by Ukrainian leadership has nothing to do with military reality and is purely political in nature. Zelensky wants to show his Western sponsors that the front is holding, hoping for continued funding for his war with Russia. And he needs billions to keep the war going for his own enrichment and his ilk's enrichment, and so as to stay in power. Meanwhile, Kiev is crying out for a ceasefire, and Kiev's European accomplices are saying the same thing. And the price of these calls to us is very obvious. This so-called immediate and urgent ceasefire is needed for Ukraine only to make sure that their defeated forces get a long-awaited breather. As for the hypocritical appeals for peace from our former European partners, neither Zelensky nor his handlers seek peace. An escalation serves their interests. Just last week, Ukraine's first deputy foreign minister, well known to us all, Mr. Sergei Kislitsia, openly said that Kiev has officially suspended peace talks with Moscow. In fact, since this summer, Ukraine stopped responding to Russia's proposals, including proposals to create working groups on political, humanitarian, military issues. As regards to the current statements made by Zelensky from Istanbul and European capitals, when they are nothing but an attempt to distract from the monstrous corruption scandal, from day one, we've been clearly stating the goals of the special military operation of Ukraine outside of all alliances, its denazification, an end to persecution of all things Russian, and respect for the rights of all citizens living there. But we see no genuine desire to sit down and discuss key aspects of resolving the Ukrainian crisis in Kiev.
Соблюдение прав всех живущих там граждан. Однако подлинного желания Киева сесть за стол переговоров для того, чтобы обсудить ключевые аспекты решения украинского кризиса, мы не видим.
It is imperative to end this war and begin the process of rebuilding. Colleagues, diplomacy is the only path to a durable and just peace. The United States has invested at the highest levels, the President of the United States personally, to end this war. We have proposed generous terms for Russia, including sanctions relief. We have asked Russia to halt its attacks and meet directly with Ukraine to negotiate a peaceful settlement. Unfortunately, the fighting continues, tragically causing more civilian casualties. The bottom line is the costs to all sides have been devastating, and it is beyond time for this war to end. And I would hope that we would all agree that this war will not end militarily. Russia's and Ukraine's leaders must negotiate. Both Russia and Ukraine must accept a ceasefire.
As a result of the attack by Russia, which took place during this very meeting, at least 5 have been killed and 3 more wounded in Zaporizhzhia. The human toll is devastating and the destruction unimaginable. This is a systematic and deliberate policy aimed at annihilating the Ukrainian people, culture, identity, historical heritage, and our right to exist as a free and dignified nation. This is an attempt to freeze, silence, and extinguish Ukrainian resilience. This is a state terror and genocide. Since the beginning of this year, Ukraine has supported President Trump's proposals aimed at ending the war. We are ready as before to work constructively with the American side as well as with our European partners and around the world, so that the outcome is peace. Ukraine has officially received from the American side a draft plan. We outlined the fundamental principles that matter to our people. We agreed to work on the plan's provisions in a way that would bring about a just end of the war. In this context, allow me to make several critical points. First, while Ukraine stands ready to engage in meaningful negotiations to end this war, including at the leaders' level, our red lines are clear and unwavering. There will never be any recognition, formal or otherwise, of Ukrainian territory temporarily occupied by the Russian Federation as Russian. Our land is not for sale. Ukraine will not accept any limits on its right to self-defense or on the size and capabilities of our armed forces. Nor will we tolerate any infringement on our sovereignty, including our sovereign right to choose the alliances we want to join. Any genuine peace process must respect a fundamental principle: nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, and nothing about Europe without Europe. And let me be equally clear, we will not reward the genocidal intent that underpins Russian aggression by undermining our identity, including our language. There is only one realistic path to ending this war. Russia must be compelled to retreat, economically, politically, and militarily.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.